Alright, today we are starting on disassembling the engine. The goal for the day is to get the head off and maybe start getting the cylinder head taken apart. That way I can clean it, then vapor blast it. So let's get to it. Alright, so we are removing the spark plugs first. And there is the second one, doesn't look too bad. Alright, so now I'm going to remove these three bits here. And then we have to remove all the bolts inside that hold the head onto the cylinder. So one thing at a time. I could be doing this all wrong in the wrong order or something like that. I don't know. But let's just try and we'll see what we get. The gasket stayed intact. This gasket stayed intact as well, but I'll probably order new ones just to be safe. I need to clean up these surfaces. Looks like there's a little bit of gasket material on them, so I think it would be best to go with all new gaskets just to be safe. There's no point of doing all this work and then reusing an old gasket and having a leak. It just doesn't make any sense. This one seems to be a bit more stuck. There we go. It is out as well. It does have a little thing there to hold it in place. It looks like there's a bunch of old gasket goo on here. I don't think I've ever replaced this one, but it looks like whoever did this didn't clean this surface up at all. So if that wasn't leaking, it's bound to leak in the future. Not acceptable in my opinion. Now we are disconnecting our rocker feed hoses. Keeping in mind to keep all of our copper washers as well. And also, everything goes into a plastic bag and gets labeled. Okay, next we have to remove all these bolts and studs, and I think there's a hidden one here in the back somewhere that hold the cylinder head on to the cylinders. This is a 1/4 inch Whitworth. There we go. Go around and loosening them up a little bit first. So right down here in the center, there's another one. I think that's a 5/16 width. So I'll loosen that one up and then I'll just start taking all the bolts out. Nope, I was wrong. The one in the center is still 1/4 inch Whitworth. There we go. So I have this very handy custom-made tool. It's just a small neodymium magnet on a piece of thread, and it's really good for getting things like these nuts out of tight places. Let's see if I can get this bolt out too. Aha! There we go. Just like that. So I've got 2 nuts and a bolt, and also in my hand I have 2 nuts and a bolt. Well, it looks like I'm not the first person to work on this engine. This fin we can see is bent, and I can see right there it's been like epoxied on or something. I'm not entirely sure yet. I'll have to get this apart to see. But on that end it's all nice and straight. This end it's bent down. We'll see what I'm going to do about that later. Alright, so it seems I have forgotten the hidden rear nut right here. So I need to remove that. That's going to be tricky. But I'll remove that, then hopefully the head will lift off easily. All right, so now all I have left is these two down here. Those also hold the head on, and then after that, the head should just pop off. We shall see. I think those are, well, I don't know. I think they're 7/16 Whitworth. We'll see here in a minute. Wait, nope. My 1/4 inch fits on those, so those are 1/4 inch as well. Perfect. All right, time to get those off. All right, so as you guys can see, as I loosen up these bolts down here, I think these are actually really long nuts. The head is starting to lift. So there's no need to pry on this, no need to damage these fins like that. That's honestly really annoying to me. I don't know what I'm going to do about that yet. I don't know if I'm going to get a new set of barrels or what, or if I'll just leave it be. Because once you try to bend that back, it's going to break. So there's no undoing that situation. All right, now all the bolts and nuts are off, everything like that. Cylinder head should just lift right off. Let's try. It's lifting on its own a bit. There we go. There we go. So there is the inside of my cylinder head. A little bit of carbon, but not too bad. And then let's look at the pistons. All right, so here we are. The gasket started coming off when I lifted it. This gasket looks good. I'm not going to reuse it, but it looks to be in okay condition. I wouldn't reuse it. So here is, yeah, it started to crack right there. It's a really fine crack. You can see it more there, then it goes to about here. So that's not very pleasing to me. Cylinders, pistons anyway, they look okay, I guess. Is what it is. So now we have our cylinder off. We need to remove all of our valves, our rockers, and all that kind of fun stuff, so that way I can get into the vapor blaster and clean it up. All right, guys, well, that's it for today's episode. The goal from my evening anyway was to remove this cylinder head, which I did. The next episode, we're going to go ahead and remove these rocker covers on the ends here, pull the rockers, clean this up. Well, after we pull the rockers, pull the valves and the springs and all that kind of fun stuff, clean this off, and then we will vapor blast that next. All right, so make sure you like, comment, subscribe. I reply to every single comment that I've ever gotten, every single one. So please reach in, comment, tell me what I did wrong, tell me what to look for, all that kind of fun stuff. I don't know, I've actually never done this before on a Norton bike. I've never pulled the cylinder head off. I've never seen one with one off. So this is a first for me. Odds are I probably did something wrong. You could tell me an easier way of doing something. Yeah, it is what it is, but it's a learning process. This is fun. And then the goal is to clean this up, make it look good, make sure everything is performing well, then get it on the back together, then get it on the bike and make sure it performs just as it left the factory, if not better. So thank you and have a good night.